So, hi, my name is Christian. I'm the runner of CC Commissions, and I'm actually doing a unboxing today of Cave Troll, Fantasy Flight Silverline game. It's all about area control and puzzle solving. The idea is it's 2 to 4 players. Each player gets a squad of hero, cave trolls, dwarves, thieves, etc., who they use to progress throughout a dungeon to collect as much gold as possible while defeating other creatures and heroes of the other teams. The game itself is quite simple. It takes like 20 to 60 minutes to play, 20 with 2-player, 60 with 4-player. It's full of amazing components, or so I've been told, and that's why I'm unboxing it. So I'm just going to cut this sucker open. Woo! And of course, smell the delicious Fantasy Flight cardboard on there. My X-Acto knife away. So let's crack into it. This was written by Tom Jolly. Originally it was a archaeological dig kind of game where you had a whole bunch of archaeologists in a tomb that were trying to find different things. You didn't actually kill each other, but they figured, well, you know, who doesn't like killing each other anyway? So the rules look pretty straightforward. They're about 6 pages long. It's 3-page, leaflet like that. Pretty self-explanatory. Not a whole lot of complications going on. The board itself, wrapped in the cellophane, I'll get to that in a moment. First thing I want to look at is actually going to be the cards, because that's one of the first things I like to see in a game, other than the minis themselves, which are all very brightly colored in this game, which kind of disturbs me, but at the same time, you have to have differentiation in your minis so that people know what the hell is going on. Alright, so I'm going to pop open these cards and take a look. So these look rather brilliant. Looks like there's a deck for each player, and they're all exactly the same. So unfortunately, the variation in the game is not so much. There's also the artifact deck, which I'll get into later when it comes to the rules themselves. The artifacts are typically used for defeating players or extra points at the end if you're kind of struggling and you didn't have a time to use the invisibility cloak or something like that. So each deck color corresponds on the back, as you can see here, with the different pieces for each team. In there you have cards like Cave Troll, Wraith, Orc, Barbarian, Knight, Dwarf, Adventurers, etc. Basically, these guys get to do special abilities, except for the Adventurers, obviously, because they're just regular ho-hum dudes. Like the Barbarian, he counts as 2 heroes when you score for a room. So if you have a Barbarian in a room as an enemy's dwarf or something, the Barbarian will count as 2 guys to the dwarf's 1. The Wraith will push people out of rooms, and the Cave Troll, I haven't figured out what the Cave Troll does yet. Oh. Wow, so the Cave Troll kills a lot of things. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we've got 4 decks here. I'm just going to place them on my table, which is over there. I'm going to open this one too, because why not at this point? I really like the Silverline Fantasy Flight series. They're smaller games. They're a little bit cheaper than most other Fantasy Flights, but they're still packed with a lot of goodness. I just recently played Space Hulk, Death Angel. Actually, I've played it a couple of times now. That one's really fun, challenging, but still pretty fun. The game itself does lend to a little bit of the randomness that you have to deal with. You just have to in most games. But that's why I like this one. Doesn't have dice, so that hopefully will take out some of the random stupidity that so many American trash games are dealt with. Alright, so we've got little player tokens here. I'm guessing a little baggie of them. They're green, blue, red, and yellow, as you can see, and I have no idea what these are for. I'm guessing scoring. Not quite sure yet. Then we have our lovely bag o-minis. In here we've got, regular adventurer guy, whatever. We've got, let's see here, a knight, with his shield. Unfortunately, these minis are made of a softer plastic than, say, Descent. So they're a little bit bendable. They don't have as high quality. They're also significantly smaller, to say the least. I think the green one's the best to pick up the detail on, but as you can see, he's kind of doing a lean back dance here, so I'm going to have to kind of bend him forward like that. But once he's bent, he's pretty darn good. Let's see what else we got here. We've got our wraiths, which are for some reason on a square base. I'm guessing that's to break it up. Same with the cave troll. He's a big beastie. Alright, so now we've gotten past the little miniatures. Let's crack open the game board here. Now, I don't know how much you people know about board gaming in general, but board games are like a big thing for me. Obviously, I'm doing a fucking video review on gaming, so why not? I work at a board game store. I manage it in downtown Santa Barbara. Stop by. We have pretty good prices. It's not Amazon, but hey, you know. Anyway, so yes, the scoring is around the edge of the board. As you can see here, there's all these little numbers. I'm guessing that's what the little pegs are for, similar to how Carcassonne is scored. Then the board itself is this lovely, huge, detailed, dark room, series of rooms. I'm guessing you can enter through doorways, such as that one right there. And you basically walk around the room and try to collect all the different gold, and you'll notice that each room has a different gold value. Unfortunately, they're not randomly determined, so you could start developing basic strategies through that if you play the game enough, which kind of hinders replayability. But, you know, so is the curse of board games. Also, you'll notice that all of the even the tens digit numbers, such as 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all have a beautiful orange background instead of the normal gray for the other numbers. That will help when scoring. Alright, so let's get into the juicy bits here. So, the game itself, you start the game, each person with one card. The first player, whoever you determine is the first player, whether it be the youngest, oldest, rolling a die, drinking contest, what have you. First player gets to make one action, and the second player gets to make 2 actions, and the third player gets to make 3 actions, and the fourth player gets to make 4 actions, and then from that point forward, everyone gets to make 4 actions. Obviously, in a 2-player game, the one person would make 1 action, the second person would make 2 actions, and then from that point forward, you go to 4 actions. The actions can be anything from moving pieces, playing cards, doing special abilities, gathering gold, etc. So when you're playing the game, the basic scoring, there's scoring icons on the cards themselves. So let me see if I can pull out one of those scoring icon cards. Yeah, here we go. So this one, find an artifact, right here. So you can see it has 2 little scoring icons on the bottom. Those little hourglass on the bottom of the card. Those will benefit. They will, the first person to collect 5 of those, they'll play out that last action, and then everyone will score what they have in the rooms. So basically, if you have like one adventurer and no one else is in the room on a room with 5 coins, you would get 5 points. If there's a tie with the number of individuals in a room, then no one gets any points for that room each time, and you just keep going until one person runs out of cards in their deck. Probably the 4th player would be the obvious one because they've had more options. Now, on your turn, you don't necessarily have to draw a card, but when you do use an action to draw a card, you have to play one of your cards. So you'll always have one card in your hand and one that you can draw, or what have you. This leads to kind of a hand/risk management factor of the game, which I really like. Being a war gamer, I love risk management, and being a role player, I kind of like the whole being able to manage your hand and have to make decisions. Now, if you have 2 really good cards, such as Cave Troll and Draw an Artifact, and neither of them really are that great, unfortunately, you're going to have to play one of them, so you have to kind of take the hit there. But I don't really see that as a negative. I think that's more of a positive, because it makes you have to deal with that risk element factor. The box itself, I don't really like the cardboard inserts. I wish that they use more of a Risk-esque bucket system. I have that problem with all of Fantasy Flight, unfortunately, is they love these cardboard inserts. It's like they make them like babies, and unfortunately, I find them to be very, I don't know, not very efficient for this type of gaming. But hey, you know, what do I know? So that's it for the video review. If you have any comments, leave them under my on my blog, obviously, underneath the video itself. So yeah, that's Cave Troll. Hopefully I'll be able to get a play session in possibly tomorrow when my guys come over to play some games. Thank you for watching. Bye.